So what did I do in the year 2022? I made 4 ridiculously long videos about a cult indie horror series. A year well spent. It is the end, my friends. But not for long.
In 2019, the final game in the Devil Came Through Here series dropped. Lorelai was advertised as a dark coming-of-age story. Instead of piecing together the histories of our protagonist, this time we'd get a full view of her messed-up home life right from the get-go. Naturally, people wanted to compare this game to the Cat Lady, because everybody loves the Cat Lady. But today, we're gonna see how it stands on its own, and what stories it truly has to tell.
This video is long, and I cannot manufacture any more history about a 3-year-old game to make it any longer. So you all know the drill, let's just do it.
Yeah, it's time to talk about the Devil Came Through Here series again, with your hostess Ron. And someday she'll learn how to record her audio. Whoa, that day is not today. Thank you. I'm so very sorry. Part 1 Summary.
Something is coming. I can feel it. Even this pouring rain is trying to warn me. But I have no choice. I'll keep going back. For now. And then I'll leave Roseberry Lane forever. I deserve a better life.
In the opening cutscene, we see Lorelai getting off at the bus stop near her flat.
I'm back.
So I see. The prodigal daughter has returned.
Prodigal... what?
How is my beautiful Lorelai?
Well, I had a weird day. I bathed an old lady, been kissed by a ghost, and I will die tonight, someone's told me.
Lorelai notices that her mother has a black eye and asks if he's been hitting her again, which the mother denies. Lorelai goes to the kitchen but hears her baby sister crying, so she chances to peek into her mother's room.
Oh shit! Bethany!
right.
Beth fell out of bed, and you didn't even notice.
Sweet Jesus. She was on the floor?
Yes, but don't worry. She'll live. So go and have another fag. A glass of sherry, maybe. Let's have a fucking party in here!
Lorelai! Is Beth okay?
Yeah. We're all okay, aren't we? We need a serious talk.
I wanted to watch a film. It starts in a minute. Now, go to the kitchen and have your curry.
As Lorelai eats her dinner, she reminisces about the good old days, when her father was still alive. And then she goes to take a bath.
What did she call me? A prodigal daughter? Did prodigal daughter come back to cry for forgiveness? Well, once I'm gone, I'm never coming back. Ever.
Can't wait, coming through.
She decides to drown out the contemplation of that traumatic moment with some jams. Unfortunately, she needs to get some new batteries for her headphones.
Alright, gorgeous.
You smell like a brewery.
I only had a couple of pints down to the dog. But I bought a little bottle of red on the way back. Do you want some?
No thanks.
Well, that's more for me then. What are you up to?
It's none of your business.
I saw you going through that drawer. You're out of batteries for your pink bunny friend again.
They're for my headphones.
I have good ears. And I can sense these vibrations every night coming from your room. And every night I think, what a shame. Someone should show this girl the right way to do it.
Pig.
You're nothing but a stupid bitch. That's what you
Stop
are.
it!
Call me that!
Shut your damn gob, woman.
We then get zoomed into this strange kind of factory place where Lorelai's mom tells her to take care of Beth. She finds Beth on the other side of this huge plummet, crying, and attempts to use various buttons and levers to reach her baby sister, but Beth ultimately falls.
Zach?
Morning, Lorelai.
Back in the real world, Kirka, earlier that day, we meet Zach, Lorelai's gamer boy stoner friend who lives next door. He's been waiting to give her an umbrella for her first day of work.
You really stayed up all night just to give me an umbrella?
Nah, you know me. I do stuff at night all the time.
Like what?
All sorts of stuff. Programming, mostly. And other boring things like that. And I had like 3 episodes of Game of Thrones to catch up on, so I watched that.
When do you sleep?
I'll go to bed in about 2 minutes.
Lucky you. Right. I'm off.
Lorelai,
Yeah?
do you... You know... It's... Forget it. It's nothing. Really. Have a great day, yeah? Cheerio.
Interesting.
Leave her alone!
I can't leave her alone. She's holding some fucking secret and I want to know it. She's not even got a scratch on her. Why don't you do us a fucking favour and die already?
Dream. It was just a dream.
Lorelai decides to try talking to her mom again. She finds her standing in the bathroom, crying.
Did something happen?
No, Lorelai. It's nothing. I just need a minute. Actually, no. I'll tell you the truth. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
I hate this life. I hate waking up to the sound of Beth crying. I hate John drinking all the time. He's drunk all the money we've had left till the end of the month. Did you know? We're broke. I hate this stinking old flat. I hate this bloody rain. Just raining all the time. I can't even take Beth out, so we stay at home and she's bored and she's being a fucking nightmare. And I hate your nagging. That disappointed face you make every time I feel shit. Yes, Lorelai. I even hate you.
This is all so fucked up. Let's face it, I am never getting away from here.
Miranda! For fuck's sake!
She comes out of her room to find that her mom has locked herself in the bathroom, and now John is banging on the door trying to get her to come out. She gets John to piss off, but her mom won't respond to her when she calls through the door. Worried that something is horribly wrong, she goes next door to ask Zach if there's some way they can get through.
Okay. We're gonna pick the lock. We just need a screwdriver and some wire.
Alright. Sounds good. Have you ever done it before?
Sure. Lots of times. In Skyrim. Are you sure he's not gonna wake up?
No. And?
I think we do it like this. Shit! Dude, it broke.
And then, after confirmation that Lorelai's mother is definitely in trouble, Zach kicks down the door.
Why?
So this is what you've been up to, Miranda. Offing yourself, eh? Well, that's fine with me. I was sick to death of you anyway. Just look at that bitch, ain't you? Here's one for the family album. Where's the camera? I want to capture this beautiful moment.
Hey! That's enough!
And who the fuck are you?
Leave them alone!
Huh? Alright. Calm down, mate. You break my door, I'll break your fucking skull. You get it, mate?
Zach! You stupid son of a bitch!
Fuck. Fuck. Fuck! Fuck!
Lorelai is headed to the bus stop on her first day of work. Sadly, she misses the bus. She tries to cut through an alley, but fucking Bob, a man with a van, parks right at its opening, which sandwiches her in the alley between the man's van and a spooky-looking dog. And then a cute little CG cat jumps out of a trash can. We can feed this cat a fish, which will achieve absolutely nothing.
Or... did I?
She then scares the cat with a cucumber, which causes it to run down the alley, with the spooky dog chasing after. So now Lorelai can get to work. But she also caused a car crash. We find ourselves in a dream version of the bathroom, which extends into this massive field. After some walking, Lorelai finds a gate covered in animal heads. You have to knock the pig's head off the gate so that you can wear it, so that the evil pig at the bathroom door will let you into the house. Yeah. We enter to see the walls splattered in blood, and find that all of the household's members are missing their heads, including ourselves. So now we gotta put everyone's heads back on. We haven't got one for John, but it seems a pig's head will suffice. That was fucked up. Conveniently, Monster John had the key to the gate, so now we can go inside, after which we make our way to the porch of a quaint little house.
Oh, what's this? Dear Lorelai, sadly I couldn't be here tonight to welcome you. But please make yourself at home. The door is open. Last room upstairs is yours. Get some sleep. When you wake up, I'll be here.
And now, Lorelai gets to sleep on this bed, surrounded by mannequins, and reminisce about the beginning of this wretched day, when she went to work, and about how
I was that new girl, starting a new life.
we basically just go along with Lorelai's training at the nursing home. Despite it being a very low-tension part of the game, I actually like it a lot. We get to peek into the romantic pasts of all these elderly women who can no longer even take care of themselves. It's really sweet, and sometimes really, really sad. We also make a friend named Maria who shares in Lorelai's contempt for their nasty boss, whose name is Zoe. You can give Zoe laxatives, make her shit. Stinky. After their break, Lorelai and Maria go to see the new resident, Greta. Greta's room is full of creepy-ass paintings, and we find her standing motionless and naked.
Get it out. I must get it out.
Lorelai? What the?
So, all the staff comes in to cover Greta's body. Anyway, now we get a nice montage of nursing home shenanigans. And before we know it, it's bedtime. But just as it's time to wind things down, the bell alarm goes off. In Greta's room. So time to investigate, I guess.
Shit.
Lorelai goes in alone because the others say they're too pussy. But they end up locking her in. It is then that we get the hottest scene in the game.
Where's that bloody... Shit.
Turns out the other carriers just wanted to prank us. So now it's time for Lorelai to go home in the rain. And, well, we know what happens after that. So to finish off the chapter, we awaken back in the mannequin room.
And here I am now.
Downstairs, we find an old lady cooking us a stew.
And who are you?
This house is my humble kingdom. And I'm your new best friend.
Yeah, it's the Queen of Maggots. We all know it's the Queen of Maggots. She milks the mystery angle, like, super hard, though. I mean, as usual. The Queen says that she was born to dig tunnels into wicked human hearts, but Lorelai is allowed into her home because Lorelai's heart is different.
Because you're a survivor.
A survivor? Me?
I literally fucking died, bro. Though she has indeed died, the Queen says that Lorelai's will is strong. So she offers to bring Lorelai back to the living world and allow her to take her revenge. All she needs to do is bring her back a shark fin for her stew. So, you know that seashore painting we've been seeing in the Queen's house since the cat lady? No? Well, now we're gonna go inside it. The Lonely Seashore is a really nice, really comfy environment to refresh us after all the horror. It's kind of like the nursing home in that way. Look there's a starfish that you can chuck back into the sea. This will award you another karma point, so hooray for that, I guess. Yeah, long story short, we just lop the fin off of a dead shark and bring it to the Queen. So Lorelai eats the finished stew, which brings her back to life.
This is your second chance. Don't waste it.
I'm coming to save you, Bethany.
Now we are in the gamer den, aka Zach's flat. Lorelai decides it's finally time to call the cops. So while we wait, we get to hang out with Zachy Boy. And we get to ask him about the games he makes.
What was the first one about?
It's called The Dog Gentleman?
Okay.
It's about this chap who really loves his dog, but he gets kidnapped by cats. all you do is run left and right and press the attack button to attack with your leash.
Who do you fight?
Oh, it's mostly all sorts of zombie cats.
Sounds cool, man.
Bro, you can continue talking about this man's games for a, really long time. But Lorelai eventually asks him why he does so much for her.
I don't know.
Zach, no. You do.
Do you really want me to say it?
Say it, Zach.
Okay. What's wrong?
Oh, can you not smell it?
Well, I guess the kid shat itself. So now we force Zach to sacrifice his beanie as a makeshift diaper. That's fucked up! After we change Bethany, the doorbell rings. The cop has arrived and Lorelai relates her story to him. And also, depending on your dialogue choices, she might refer to Zach as her boyfriend. So while Zach stays with Bethany, Lorelai and Officer Manley go to meet up with another cop in her flat. But it seems that John's body is nowhere to be seen. At least until they check the bedroom.
Games!
Lorelai awakens in this nice little field where she solves a quick grave-related puzzle. It is then that she bumps into a dark and mysterious young man.
Nice job, Lorelai.
You know me? Who are you?
The name's Jimmy. Jimmy the Traveler. And now that you've opened the way, there's one place I'd like to show you. And before you ask, yes, you can trust me.
That's what that old hag said, too.
Oh, she says a lot of things, but believe me, I am no friend of hers.
That still doesn't make you a friend of mine.
Sure. But what if I told you I found a way to destroy her? To end this nightmare once and for all and send us both back to the real world?
Then I'd listen to you very carefully.
So now, you and Jimmy are on your way to destroy the Queen of Maggots. With a homemade bomb, no less. Yeah, this guy would.
You want to tell me something about yourself? I mean, Jimmy the Traveler doesn't quite explain why you're here with me. In the afterlife.
I travel in my sleep. Always have.
What?
Look, it used to be fun. I went to different places every night. At first I thought they were just dreams. Not real. But no. My body stayed in bed, but my mind, my spirit, or whatever, they were set free. In my sleep I was a ghost. Everything I saw happened somewhere, to someone. Then one night, I traveled here. And I can't wake up since.
Jimmy says that if you don't kill the Queen, you'll forever be her slave, just like others before you. So too bad Jimmy gave us a broken lighter and we had to waste the bomb on some fucking blockage. Oh, speaking of, you can literally just fucking die trying to do that. But, like, you immediately spawn back in where you left off, so I don't know why that's a thing, Lamau. So now we find ourselves in a sort of factory, and it's here that we find the real Queen of Maggots.
Is this the real Queen of Maggots? It doesn't seem to notice me. Maybe it's blind.
Lorelai? Where are you, Lorelai?
Lorelai and the Queen have a chat downstairs, where the Queen tries to impose on her as a sort of mother figure. She's also quite disappointed that Laura couldn't attain her revenge. The Queen finally explains that all of her candles are really human lives, and that these three here belong to Lorelai, Zach, and Bethany. She will allow Lorelai another chance at life, but her payment will be much higher this time.
Let's see what story the flame has to tell. No, it's someone you've already met. A chef. His name is Al.
Yeah, that rings a bell. He works in the care home, right?
Yes. You two never spoke, but now you will get to know him better than anyone. He's just a sad little man who likes to drink. His life has been slowly falling apart for quite some time. He tries to fix it, but you will make sure he fails.
The Queen says that you need to ensure Al's alcoholism only worsens, or else you'll need to trade in Zach or Bethany's life to get your revenge.
Trust me, although Al might seem nice at first, he does not deserve a happy ending.
Do I really have time for this? I have people that need me right now.
They will wait. You have all the time in the world. Now, go through the mirror, my beautiful princess of maggots.
Well, here I am. But what should I do? Follow the Queen's orders? Or maybe ignore them and help this guy instead?
Gee, Laura, way to set the scene! So, you have to determine Al's fate. Basically, this boils down to you meddling in his day-to-day life. Or not meddling. Now, this chapter ends in two very different ways depending on what you choose to do. If you take pity on poor Al, you basically just hang around him and watch him go about his business, and eventually follow him to a group meeting for addicts. Also, Charlie Chaplin is canonically in this group meeting, and has canonically done meth. Thank you, good night. Here, Laura encourages Al, as a little intrusive thought, I guess, to share his story honestly with the group.
I've lost something. Someone.
Do you want to tell us about this person?
Her name was Kara. She was perfect. We were going to get married. But I fucked it up.
What did you do, mate?
My boss at work was giving me a lot of shit. So I drank to make myself feel better. But somehow, it wasn't always working. As in, I felt worse instead. But I kept drinking, and it made Kara upset. We argued about it every night, until one time I'd lost it. And I hit her. I didn't mean to, but she was right in my face. I just wanted her to shut the hell up. Turned out, she was pregnant. If only I'd known about it. But I hit her so hard, it made her lip pop. And she fell, all covered in blood like. She miscarried later that night and left me the next day.
We also go with Al to a corner store.
I'll be right with you, mate. Hello. How can I help you?
Susan got a new job, guys! Isn't that sweet?
Bronsons. Where are you, Bronsons? Sorry, I'm new.
It's okay. Nice cat.
Oh, she wandered in last week, and I let her stay. As long as she doesn't touch the donuts, and wears the jumper, of course.
Sounds fair. I mean, at least she won't get cold.
You like cats?
Sure. But I can't have any. I've got a blackbird at home. So basically, cat food in a cage. Does that mean we can't get on?
Well, you're the Birdman, and I am the Cat Lady. So you and me, in fact, should be mortal enemies.
Or could we form a powerful alliance instead?
Maybe. But, you know, it's not always wise to trust a cat.
I'd risk it. What have I got to lose?
Pussy dinner! We see Al struggle to hang on a bit, but it's really sweet how Laura looks after him. Jimmy also shows up while you're ghosting around, asking if you're just working for the Queen of Maggots now and killing off her parasites. So regardless of what you're actually doing, Lorelai updates him on the whole sitch with the real queen, and agrees that it should be destroyed. It is then that Jimmy asks you a favor. He wants you to find his real body in his flat and wake him up. Yeah, you know, once you get around to it. So Laura keeps helping Al, and ultimately, his ex sends him a letter.
Dear Al, I've decided to write this letter because we never really had a chance to say goodbye. Janice told me you'd given up the drink. I couldn't believe it at first. Then I heard about the group therapy, and yeah, it looks like you finally admitted that you have a problem. I'm impressed, Al. But it's too late. This wound is never gonna heal. I hated you for so long. I wouldn't know how to love you now. Now, after all this time, I understand you never wanted to hurt me. You were ill. I can never forgive you for what you did. And yet, I hope you can still turn your life around and be the good man you once were. Goodbye, Al. And good luck.
Now that's very nice. But what if you choose to make Al drink again? Well, for one, we never actually learn his story because he closes himself off during the group meeting. But the ending of Chapter 5 ends up being a lot more grim, too. Al ultimately gets drunk and self-destructive and gets hit by a train. Jesus! We find ourselves again disoriented in another reality, surrounded by coffins. In one of these coffins, we find our mother, mouth gaping and arms outstretched. Well, we better hand her a baby.
Okay.
Now, Laura doesn't know it, but if she just saved Al from alcoholism, she's about to get her ass beat.
Well, well, well. If it isn't my sweet little Lorelai.
Hi, you alright?
No, Lorelai. I am not all right.
So we awaken once more by a house.
Or maybe.
Maybe, if we killed Al, the Queen is the one who leads us to this house. She makes it out to be our dream home, and even lets us choose what color we want it to be. Even this hideous pink. And in this case, she tells us to just go upstairs and get some shut-eye. And also to ignore that crow in the garden.
Lorelai?
Huh?
Oh god. It's you.
Where are you?
Right here. In the cage.
Is that you, Jimmy?
Yep. The Queen has turned Jimmy into a talking crow. Jimmy the Crow. Yikes. Jimbo is hungry as fuck for the fertilizer on the ground. And this is a bit of a major choice. You won't determine which ending you get really, but, well, you can feed Jimmy the fertilizer as much as he wants, in which case he'll explode. Otherwise, you can refuse his wish and he'll remain hungry, but alive. Anyway, Lorelai sleeps her way back to the Queen's house for another serving of that stew. Lorelai, her mother, and the cops have been stashed in a storage container, which turns out to be near the brick factory from which John got laid off. Lorelai walks through the factory and finds a river beside it.
His own child. Drowned her. Like a puppy. What kind of monster does that? You're a parasite, John. I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna kill you.
So we've died yet again. God, this is just embarrassing at this point. I mean, Laura, is this guy not still wasted? And he's just destroying you. So Stu, wake up, yada yada. Now we're alive and able to fuck about the factory and plot our revenge. But I wonder, whatever happened to Zach while we were all getting murdered?
Zach.
Lorelai. Are we in heaven yet?
This really doesn't look like heaven to me.
Kinda does. From where I'm looking.
Oh, Zach.
I saw you dead. You had a... You had a bullet hole right between your eyes.
I'm immortal.
You are so awesome, Lorelai.
Zach says that although he's currently impaled, he'd be impaled 1,000 times over for Lorelai.
I could never find the courage to say it, but... I love you. I've loved you from the moment I saw you, Lorelai. 2 years ago, the day I moved in. You sat on the stairs with your headphones on. And you were wearing the same dress. Red and black with stripes. I knew right then.
I love you too, Zach.
Zach is sussed out by the fact that Lorelai is alive again, so she has to choose whether to tell him her crazy Queen of Maggots story. And guess what? This right here, this dialogue option, this is the only thing that determines which ending you get. Not killing Al, not killing Jimmy, this. You can actually commit 2 unnecessary murders in this game and still get the golden ending.
Anyway, I guess this is the ending segue.
Up first, normal ending. This is the ending in which you do not tell Zach the crazy Queen of Maggots story. He respects that and suggests that Lorelai finds a weapon if she's gonna try and take out John. She has no idea where to find one of them things, but sees some bottles on the ground. Maybe we could make a Molotov cocktail. She asks Zach for his thoughts, but he's dead. We make a Molotov, which we'll save for the Queen, and then John comes back and grinds up our mother. Yeah, whatever, nothing can get to us anymore. So essentially we have to drop a big old heavy onto John to kill him. And now that we're dead, we have convenient access to the real Queen of Maggots.
Ungrateful little bitch. You have ruined it all. I gave you all this power, and you stabbed me right in the back.
Why do you look like me?
I thought you should look yourself in the eye one last time. Soon, I will be gone. All of this, just a memory. And even that will fade sooner than you think. Until one day you look in the mirror and realize that I can never truly die. My roots grow deep, and my thorns leave scars you can never quite heal.
It's time for you to go.
Yes, I'll go. And you will too, but not the same. Nothing will ever be the same.
Goodbye, Lorelai.
So now, it's time to eat the rest of the soup and go home. Lorelai keeps working her job at the nursing home, and, well, there's no one left for her. But she's finally able to get her own place. She wonders if this life was truly worth fighting for, but always comes around, remembering that she is a survivor. And then, she finally takes that train ride. Yeah, it's a fine enough life, aside from the crippling knowledge that her lover and baby sister are both dead. There's only one other ending to this game, which is the golden ending. Yeah, there's no bad ending. So let's get into it, I suppose. If you choose to tell Zack about the Queen of Maggots, he believes you. So he lends Lorelai his lighter for her Molotov. Everything is exactly the same, except now, after killing the real queen, we can use Zack's lighter to light his candle and Bethany's candle. So things are a bit brighter when we come back to life. Lorelai doesn't skip town. Instead, she enjoys a nice comfy life, raising her sister with her new boyfriend.
But wait. What became of Jimmy?
Well, after you return to the living world, you go to Jimmy's flat. If you killed Jimmy while he was a crow, all you find is his bloody, mangled carcass splattered all over his bed. But if you didn't, you wake him up and the two of you go for a McRonald's run. So, yeah, that's the game. Part 2. Analysis.
So what, is the theme of Lorelai?
Seemingly, it basically just boils down to don't give up and forge your own path. Lorelai is sort of the typical troubled teen trying to make it out of a tough sitch, and there's two outcomes to this. She might win and get to live her life free of a toxic family environment, but at the cost of that whole family being dead. Or she might really win, finding love, raising her own sister, and, making a cool goth friend. The game only philosophizes on how to better your situation a little bit, though. Lorelai can't really do anything without the Queen of Maggots, but she does get to spite her at least. She refuses to become the new queen and feed on suffering, so that's cool. That's important, don't feed on suffering. And definitely don't eat people. But there's something pretty interesting going on between Lorelai and the Queen. I actually think there's a pretty good message here about not taking your trauma out on others. The Queen trains Lorelai to be the Queen of Maggots by sending her after Al. Al is an alcoholic. John is an alcoholic. It's probably really hard for Lorelai to see past her trauma and take pity on Al. And that's what makes Al such perfect target practice for our up-and-coming Princess of Maggots. He's sacrificed his family for alcohol. And we know what that looks like. Or at least we think we do. The Queen wants to twist Laura's vengeful nature and aim it at those who invoke her trauma. But of course, Lorelai ends up defeating the Queen. But even then, though, the Queen insists that she, as the trauma, can never truly die. I feel like this game honestly has a lot more to say about the Queen of Maggots than it does about Lorelai, so let's just talk about the Queen for a while. Why does the Queen choose Lorelai to become her heir? I think it's because Lorelai basically has no choice. Yeah, it's not because Lorelai is strong, like the Queen says, it's actually because she's weak as fuck. Let's compare Lorelai to Joe and Susan. As much as Joe is a queen, he can't become the Queen of Maggots because he's not vengeful, he wouldn't feed off of misery, and all he cares about is saving Ivy. Susan is a little vengeful, but the Queen can't get her claws on her because Susan really doesn't want to be alive at all. Like, she's super pissed that the Queen revived her in the first place, and the Queen pretty much has to blackmail her kinda hard to do any of her bidding. But Lorelai needs her revenge. She desperately wants to kill one of the Queen's parasites. And she's dead, so she can't do shit unless the Queen brings her back to life. So in this way, she's a bit more helpless to the Queen. Now, the Queen is a literary device representing general misery, because these games are about how people deal with their misery. So then, why the fuck would she need an heir? Are there, for real new rules being established for a very straightforward storytelling monolith thing? My best guess is that Lorelai is the most vengeful of any protagonist we've had so far, and is certainly a miserable creature, so it's not really that the Queen needs an heir, it's more just a metaphor, I think. of Lorelai being consumed by these dark aspects of herself and taking them out on others. So if Lorelai never actually becomes the queen, then why does the queen call herself Lorelai? I think this is the queen taking the form of a former victimized Lorelai. When Lorelai says goodbye to the queen at the end, and the queen looks like her, she is in a sense saying goodbye to her former self. She's allowing the trauma to stay in the past. It's a lot like Chapter 5 of The Cat Lady when Susan kills all of her former selves. That's my best guess anyway. But also, the queen is like the devil, right? Or just a general representation of different people's misery. So I think trying to implement her as a tangible being that still exists in the hell world is a bit odd. Mr. Speed over here. We might just have to wait for the next game to see if this creature is either elaborated on or maybe just scrapped. But now, it's time to address the mannequins. Here's what I think the mannequins represent. Every place infected by the Queen of Maggots is full of mannequins. The real queen herself is a giant mannequin. And what are mannequins but fake placeholder people? This invokes that maggots that look like people line from Downfall, where the corpse informs you that you mustn't trust tricksters. The dream house thing is somewhat of an extension of this. What dream house thing, you ask? The fact that the queen presents both Jo and Lorelai with the houses of their dreams, so long as they are in her hell world. So honestly, I'd say this is kind of drawing us out of the grief, guilt, and mental illness allegory, and more into the idea of the Queen of Maggots as an entity that behaves very devilishly. Very much as a trickster with a bunch of false solutions to people's problems. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad addition to the queen. It's just new. Yeah, I don't know if there's much I can draw from the mannequins and dream homes other than that they characterize the queen. Side note, this game also really likes train symbolism, which definitely just signifies Lorelai's plan to escape. We go through a train tunnel, solve a train puzzle, etc. Al even dies being hit by a train, which I think could easily symbolize Lorelai disregarding his life to achieve her own goals. Very straightforward, very obvious. But one thing that keeps gnawing at me is this prodigal daughter line. How is Lorelai a prodigal daughter? What has she done against her mother's wishes? All she's done is gone to work at the nursing home. But of course, she's taken up a job with the hope of leaving home. Maybe Miranda feels that Lorelai doesn't know what's good for her. Or maybe, if Lorelai were to leave, Miranda would be trapped with just John. Lorelai is the last remnant of Miranda's good life, so it makes sense that she wouldn't want her gone. When the queen says the prodigal daughter thing, it's a bit more warranted. In every ending, Lorelai must disobey the queen in some way, not to mention the embarrassing amount of times she fails to kill John. And every time she fails, she comes back to the queen to ask for forgiveness, because she needs the queen to return to the living world, over and over.
I want to talk about dream travelers.
Jimmy is a dream traveler. You know who else is a dream traveler?
My mom!
Agnes. Yeah, this is confirmed. I can't believe we're really going back to 2009, but when the Queen of Maggots first speaks to Agnes, she refers to her as a dream traveler. Why are there dream travelers in this world? Well, I kind of see them as sort of unwitting guardian angels, falling out of reality and into other people's stories before somehow saving them. If it weren't for Jimmy, Lorelai couldn't have defeated the Queen of Maggots. And if it weren't for Agnes, Jo couldn't have escaped the coffin and revived Ivy. I'd imagine the Queen would be pretty ambivalent towards them, even though they seem to be an overwhelming positive force to her overwhelming negative. Like, for example, in the case of Agnes, she was useful to the Queen, so that's why she let her into her home.
And now I'm done talking about the Queen. Thank you for your time. Here's your reward.
Lorelai's arc doesn't encompass a whole lot, and the revenge thing established in the Cat Lady is kinda foregone in this game. In the Cat Lady, we learned that vengeance bad, and we should focus on improving ourselves instead. But Lorelai says revenge good, actually, because you can't finish the game without getting revenge in an epic metal cutscene. The Queen isn't even the one pushing Lorelai towards revenge, she just helps her. But how does Lorelai change throughout the story? And what does that tell us? Well, she decides to kill the scary monster, and maybe she gives up on leaving town to instead settle down with Zack in the golden ending. So that's something. She drops what she thought she needed and instead chose a nice domestic life. But other than that, Lorelai stays the same, the Queen stays the same, John does progressively more horrifying things. I think there were some nuggets of thematic gold in Lorelai's interactions with Al and with the Queen, but to be honest, I kind of feel like Lorelai is just sort of a pretty drama that expands on the world of these games. And that's odd for the series. So let's talk about how that went over with the fan base. Part 3, Review. Yeah, people don't really rave quite as much about Lorelai as they do for the Cat Lady. Which is a shame, because this is by far the most visually and sonically polished game in the series. Until December, probably. It looks great, the voice performances and the audio quality are fantastic compared to the other games, and it has this super strong, super disturbing opening. The story, though, it's a bit thin, and something about it is a lot less dour than the other games, which isn't on its own a bad thing, but even though Lorelai goes on this weird psychedelic adventure, we're really just watching a family tragedy play out. And I think that's awesome, but we only get the major family tensions for literally one chapter before John just fucking kills everyone. And then, after that, we kinda just watch the Queen unfurl her master plan. So I don't think the story really captivates as much as Susan's experience with depression or Joe's dream hotel. But here's something I really like about this story. We get to be the Queen of Maggots. We learn what exactly she does. She targets people who feel guilty about their past, like a boy who couldn't save his brother, a woman who didn't realize her infant was suffocating, or a man who drunkenly hit his pregnant girlfriend. And then she toys with them. She causes them to go mad or kill themselves. And then she makes them into her vengeful puppets. Like Susan killing bad people, or Lorelai doing a summer internship as the Princess of Maggots. But we should address our protagonist. Lorelai isn't quite as interesting of a lead as those of the other games. She's just kind of a generally strong teen girl in a tough situation. She's still likable though, and can definitely be pretty relatable. I did want to see her succeed, but TBH, I was a little bit more invested in characters like Zack and Al making it out okay. I feel like if we had more character depth, the theme we are given in this game could have been fleshed out in a much more impactful way. Like, look at Joe and Susan. Susan is constantly struggling with her worldview throughout the game, and it changes as she interacts with Mitzi. Joe struggles with guilt over losing his loved ones, and kinda has this notion that he should be able to fix his wife until he realizes that he can't change Ivy if she doesn't want to. We could have seen more of Lorelai struggling with her home life, with the guilt of wanting to leave her mom behind, but also the resentment towards her for bringing John into the home, maybe how she would go from a naive attitude about her life to a more wise and developed one, but instead, all of this family tension starts and ends in Chapter 1. And then the rest of the game is spent trying to take down John, the irredeemable evil guy. Well, except for the Albert. The Albert is nice. His development and both endings to his story are quite believable. I also kinda wish we got a bad ending, where we could actually see Laura become the Queen of Maggots, or like whatever would have actually happened to her. I just think there would have been some pretty good narrative and thematic potential there, but oh well, I guess. Alright, quick gameplay take. There's a lot less puzzles that actually require thinking in this game. While in the previous games, much of the playtime was spent like figuring out puzzles, and figuring out puzzles. Very rarely did I find myself having to mull over Lorelai's puzzles at all. So I feel like these games are just getting progressively more movie-like, which personally I think is fine. I mean, I talk about games because of the story, but it does rob you a bit of those aha moments in which you'd sometimes find yourself being a little bit clever, thinking outside the box. Also, keen viewers may have noticed that in the beginning of the game, we were rewarded a karma point for a good deed. But again, this doesn't affect your ending. So I'm not sure why karma points were left in. And, shit, we're just about done with the review section. TLDR, Lorelai was very pretty and had some great atmosphere and was also harrowing, but didn't quite have the same narrative punch as the other games. Part 4. Eggs. Eggs number 1 through 3. Every reference to the other games. So when you go to lockpick the door to the bathroom, you're kind of looking for shit to do that with, and Lorelai opens a box which belonged to her dad. It has the Cat Lady soundtrack in it. And Zach has a Downfall poster. And there's a Cat Lady poster in this box here. I really love the idea that all of these characters share a universe and interact with each other, but also that their respective games also exist in universe. I don't know, I find it really funny. Egg number 4. Okay, this is the biggest breakthrough that I've had while analyzing these games. Bob? The man with the van? He's everywhere. He's advertised in Downfall. He's advertised in The Cat Lady. And here we get close, so close, to meeting this god. This god that had flown under my nose all this time, but lo! He parks his holy van in such a way that we cannot see what we were not meant to. The peril of being a mere mortal. Yeah, I didn't realize that he was an established meme in this series, that's about it. Egg number 5. Jimmy's flat used to belong to Joe and Ivy. Egg number 6. Laura's boss, Zoe, has the same name as Susan's baby in The Cat Lady.
Egg number 7.
The enemies in Zach's game, the Dog Gentlemen, are zombie cats. Why are there so many zombie cats in this series?
Egg number 8.
At one point, you need to use a pack of Miranda brand cigarettes to solve a puzzle. Miranda, like Lorelai's mom, who smokes. Egg number 9. There's an L at the bottom of the Queen's letter when you first come to her house. It's easy to miss on a first playthrough, but yeah, she definitely just half-assed signing her name as Lorelai. Egg number 10. Greta kisses Lorelai in the same way the Queen kisses Mitzi in The Cat Lady. It's sort of like she's being marked for death. I think it was sort of cool that they brought back that, biblical shit. This concludes the eggs. Lingering questions.
What's with the crows? That's my only question. There clearly is a thing. There clearly is a thing. There has been one since, like, The Cat Lady. I have no idea what it is. Crow bad, I think. Well, anyway, that's the end of Lorelai, the latest installment in the Devil Came Through Here series. For, like, a couple weeks.
Probably, anyway. I don't know, maybe Harpster Games is about to branch out, but I do seriously doubt it.
I really hope you guys have been enjoying this series, and I will be making a video on the upcoming game, be it Devil Came Through Here or otherwise. However, in the meantime, I have a couple other videos in the pipeline. And they're not about this series, but they're about other creepy games. But I've just gotten some really lovely support and some really kind words from the fans of this series, and I very sincerely hope y'all enjoy what's coming up next. I'd say that like this is a TV block. I'm gonna try and upload a lot more frequently in the future, but thank you so much for watching. Over and out.